Good morning. This is an absolutely beautiful Saturday here in southeast Michigan. It's about 70 degrees, not a cloud anywhere in the sky. I'm going to take it easy today a little bit. I kind of toasted my back a little bit. I had to go to the chiropractor yesterday and I think they mostly got it fixed. So I'm just going to take it easy today and do a little odds and ends and chores, things that I've been meaning to do for a while and just haven't got them done. First step is going to be to get the old 8N cleaned up. I want to post it for sale, but I want it cleaned up first. I want to be able to show potential buyers how pretty this thing really is. So that's what I'm going to work on today. Got the power washer out. Got a bucket, soapy water, and a rag, and we're going to get it cleaned up and see how it turns out. It's always weird for me to trade in something old for something new. Like selling this old tractor. It's beautiful, vintage. I'm sure there's a ton of history behind it that I'm not fully aware of. I know the gentleman that restored it. I know the guy that painted it. He was a collector. He just lived like 8 miles away. No relation to the guy. I bought it at a tractor show. So there's no like emotional attachment between me and this tractor, but part of me always gets attached to things that are vintage, especially when they do have meaning. Like I have a table saw that belonged to my grandfather, and it's old, it's really heavy, it's big, and the motor died. And I still have it. The motor's been dead for like 2 years, and it's in my garage, and I keep telling myself I'm going to buy a new motor for it and get that thing back up and running. It's not the nicest thing in the world. It's, I don't know what era it came from, 1950s, 60s Craftsman or something like that. It has like that big, huge motor that kind of hangs off the back. And I've held on to it because it was my grandfather's, which does have some meaning, but I'm trying to be better about holding on to things that I don't really have to. Just because, like, I even have an old an old motorcycle in the garage that I've held on to for like 5 years now. It's just sitting there. It doesn't run. It's an old barn find ready to be restored by somebody, and I just hold on to it. And I really want to do better about trying to let some of that stuff go. And part of the reason I think I hold on to this stuff is because it's old, it's vintage, and I have an appreciation for that stuff, for that era, for the craftsmanship that went into things. But in the same regard, I'm not a collector. I don't buy stuff like this to make money off of it. I don't buy stuff like this to hoard it. I just accidentally end up hoarding things. So I want to try to let some of these things go, like this tractor. I want to get that motorcycle out. I want to get that cleaned up and put it up for sale. I think it's a 1965 Honda Dream is what it is. Fully intact, found in a garage. There's a long story behind it that I won't really share now, but yeah, so a couple reasons behind this. One is I don't want to like be one of those people who pass away someday and you have this big collection of all this stuff and your family and your kids have to try to deal with it all. I guess another thing is I usually just have too much stuff. You know, you got like 8 different tractors. How are you going to keep them all running properly? It's a lot of work and it's a lot of time and a lot of money. I don't want to do that. I want something that if I got a job to do, I want to hop on, I want to go, I want to get the job done, clean it up, put it back away where it was, and so it's ready to use the next time. So that's kind of my reasoning behind this stuff. Do you guys do that type of thing where you keep things just because they're old or because there was some family attachment to it? And am I the only one that does this stuff? I don't think I am. So if you guys got some stories, share them in the comments with me. I'd like to hear some of your stories. I'm really tempted to pull this tractor out in the front yard and put a sign out there and say it's for sale with my phone number, and maybe someone will drive by and buy it. Aside from that, I'll probably put it on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and we're kind of selling it as like a homestead starter kit. I have a boom lift for the back, a bucket lift for the back, and a hitch receiver that kind of goes on the back, so if you can haul trailers and stuff like that. It's all stuff I don't really need anymore, so once you have a front end loader, you kind of lose the need for some of those extra things like rear scoops and boom lifts and stuff like that. So see what happens. We had some good comments on our last beekeeping video regarding my population growth and how it's been slow here. We're located in southeast Michigan, and my nuke has been installed for a month now, I want to say. Yeah, it's got to be something like that. And population growth has been slow, and I got some good comments as recommendations from a gentleman about how I should really be feeding them. When I installed the nuke, I put food on here like multiple times, and they never took it. I don't know why. They wouldn't take it, and so I would dump it out and I would make fresh and I would put it in there and they wouldn't take it. So last night, after this gentleman left this comment on our video, I came out and I like, all right, fine, I'm gonna put a fresh batch of food on there. Your comment makes sense, and I'm coming out here today. I'm just gonna do a quick peek and just to see how they're doing with the food, if they're actually taking it this time. So they're definitely consuming. I'm pretty sure this is a 1 gallon feeder that was full yesterday, and they pulled a good inch off of it already. So I'll check them again tomorrow. Based on some feedback from comments on previous video, I've made some enhancements to my swarm trap. Number one, I almost doubled the size. I added at least 6 more inches to the bottom for volume, so that's basically empty space. And then the second thing I did, well, I also moved my entrance hole down to accommodate for that additional space, and I made my hole bigger. Some people said that my hole was a little small. So, been rebaited, lemongrass oil. We'll leave it up here for a little longer. We'll see what happens. So that's probably it for today's episode. It's about dinner time, starting to get hungry. I think Rachel's been resting most of the day, and it's weird not being as busy as we were. I mean, there's always stuff to do, but we laid on the little bed on the couch for a little while and let's have a nice relaxing day. See you soon.